Alrighty guys, so it's after lunch here, after getting the, I don't really want to call it rebuilt, but put back together K321. And what I'm doing with the old motor here, and I took a picture of it, I didn't take any video, I'm sorry guys, but the inside of this is already flash rusted, so I took and put some PB Blaster to it, and I went down through and I honed the cylinder again, even though this isn't a good block and it needs bored. I stuck the rod back in it. I stuck the cylinder head back on it, and I have this the Case 220. Oh, I'm in the light. There you go. The Case 220 had this insert in it for the stripped out threads, like this head does. And I stuck a spark plug in it just to keep the moisture out of it as best as I could. So what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to put the oil pan back on it, and basically this is going to go on the shelf as a good rebuildable motor. Basically it's going to need to go 40 over from 30 over, but once we do that, it'd be a good machine. So, or a good machine, but good motor. I could put on something else, or try transmissions out, or build another 400, or whatever I can do with it. But I know it's physically an okay block. Has signs of broken connecting rod at one time too, but it's still a standard rod, best of my knowledge. So bored 40 over and remove the balance gears, and it would be a good core, good candidate for a rebuild. So keep it, it'll go in the shed, and it'll be like my spare parts machine. So okay, let me get the oil pan back on this. And then I put air, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, I put air in the tires. They go flat after, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, something like that. They go flat, they go low. So I'm going to spin this back around, and then I'm going to jack this back end up as high as I can get it. And I'm going to try and not lose any oil out of the transmission. I'm going to try. Because even if you put it up on ramps, it loses some oil, so don't ask me how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to attempt to. I'd love to get my backhoe in here and pick it up and sit it on something. I have milk crates nowadays. Or cement blocks would be a lot solider. It's a possibility. So anyhow, let me get this spun out of here, and I'm going to put the oil pan back on it so that way I don't sit it down and break the connecting rod or something accidentally. And yeah, I'll bring you guys back when I go to put the motor on and see what we can do. Other than the starter solenoid, best of my knowledge, there's nothing major that needs fixed on this. The brakes might need adjusted or something, but that's small potatoes. Perhaps a voltage regulator. I mean, I don't know. So, okay, I'll be back when I actually accomplish something, guys. I am getting my bench cleaned off, though. Look, you can actually see it. Alright, guys, so here's what I have going on. Good, bad, or indifferent at the moment. But the transmission oil, if you check it on the dipstick, is pretty low here, so that would hopefully mean that most of the oil has ran to the front. I have it up on one, I think they're 8-inch blocks. I didn't measure it, I'm guessing. And on top of 2 2x4s. So I'm going to attempt to pull the motor. I have everything except the throttle cable unhooked right now, which I'll do as soon as I set the camera down. And yeah, I'm going to crack it loose and see if any oil runs out. If oil runs out, I'm going to tighten the bolts back up and we'll go up another block, huh? Maybe I'll go 4x4 instead of a 2x4. I don't know. It's at a pretty good angle, though. I'll tell you that right now. The things I do to try and keep oil in the transmission, huh? Learned my mistake on the first 400 I pulled a motor. I already got the bolts loose. I broke the motor free already, and I don't see any oil running out, so I think we're okay. I think. So bolts the rest of the way out, and hopefully I can drop this down without killing my back or hurting myself here or something. This thing's up pretty high. I mean, it's up about a little bit below waist height now. So, the thing I gotta remember is this one, the dipstick tube, isn't as extra. As long as I can go down and just go to the milk crate here. I don't know if I'm mooning you guys. I spend a lot of time editing that kind of stuff out. There we go. Whew. Got a catch. Now, let's have to clean the little bit of blue gasket maker I put off where the gasket was cracked on this. Then we'll slide the motor back in. I realize how wore the face of this is. Okay. So I got that pulled off, put the other one on. The other one's going to be heavier. It's got the carb, fuel pump, coil. Guys might say, hey Steve, that's only about a pound or two more. Trust me, it adds up. And then you even got the muffler on it too. Okay, I'll get the motor set back up here and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, here we go. You know, these motors don't get any lighter. That's for sure. Okay, got bolts ready, wrenches ready. Try to keep my posterior out of shot, but if it happens, I'm sorry, guys. There you go, son of a bitch. Oh baby, okay. Now I dropped one bolt somewhere. You guys even see anything? Not exactly, but motor is on. I get the bottom two bolts started here and then I'll tighten them up. There we go. There's the last bolt. Okay. Probably the reason my back's bad in my old age, lifting these motors. But I almost need like a transmission jack. Something that you can pick the motors up and you can angle them up and down and such. Because these motors here, at least you don't have to worry about the gears falling off. Like the 800, 8000s, and the Gs, all the other riders except the 400s. The gears are free to slide on the crank. So you can drop the gear, the key, the shims, and everything down inside the transmission. Which I'm sure many of you guys, like me, have done at one point or another. Not the end of the world, but it's no fun to fish them out. So, on my list of things, I'll probably buy one. My back won't let me do it anymore, but okay, motor's on. Tighten the bolts up. I'll put the hitch on here while it's easy to get to. I spent probably 15 minutes trying to find a points cover I had and screws somewhere, and I tell you what, I could not find it. So guess I'm either gonna have to buy it, or maybe I stuck it back over with the other motors. Maybe I'll have to go look in the tank garage, but who knows. And I just noticed my Carasan's out of fuel. I hear it's sputtering behind me. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get some more work down here, and I don't know if I'll show you guys any other details, or I'll just show you guys the startup of it. So, see what happens. That's what I was worried about it, Joe. Okay, pull forward just a little bit. Just a little off. Parking brake. Also, I found out the tire goes flat in like 2 hours on the ground. Dry rotten tires. Alright guys, I got the wiring finished up. Let's see if it'll bump over. This has a jump box on it. Nothing. Okay. Alright. So what's the odds that two battery cables, or two different starter engagement applications don't work? When I put the jump box on, it's full of power. That tells me it's full power down. The starter solenoid is not clumping. So this key switch is messed up. I got the wrong wire. That's the only wire going into the harness though. Not grounded? Alright, I'm gonna have to get my multimeter out and see what's going on there, but it seems like I got power to the points or something. Because it's arcing when I'm putting it on. So give me a bit here. Okay, at this point, I think my jump box is just dead. I think. The starter turns, but it turns real slow. I think the ground connection to the frame is bad, so I'll have to try that once. Might as well bring you guys up here and show you what I got going on up here. I took a starter solenoid off the 2082 Cub is what I meant to say. I think I said the 129. So the solenoid physically works. The jump box is one bar. You guys can see that. And this is not my good jump box either. So wouldn't do anything reliably unless I put the ground back here to the starter solenoid bolt. So that ground up here is very suspect looking anyhow, so monkey with that. I think from what I remember the lights worked on this thing. Well, maybe not. I do have a key on it. Yeah. I swear the lights worked. Oh, yep, there we go. Yeah, they work. You can tell they're not real bright, so. Okay, let's, I'm gonna see if I can't find a battery somewhere to put in this thing that's even halfway good. And we'll go from there, guys. So, let me go monkey around, see if I can't find a decent battery that I can pillage. And we'll check this thing out some more. See if well, I haven't hooked up the fuel system yet. I can put my racing fuel cell under the seat until I deal with the tank and blow through the lines and stuff. So, okay, see what I can make happen here. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. Oh, you guys are looking at the jack handle. And got everything pretty much done. Once I get the buffoolery figured out, I'll put the shift plate on and stuff like that. So, alright, let me monkey with that. It might be after dinner by the time I talk to you guys again. Alrighty guys, let's see if we can't get this to crank up on the tractor. I got the electrical figured out, I think. Let's give that a try. I got the fuel hooked up, cranking over, so. Still got the same fuel problem, but it does run, so that's plus. There's all kinds of crap stacked all over the tractor, so pick some stuff up here. I can let it sit and run for a little while longer. And it is 450, by the way. Some stuff still needs fixed, but it's put together enough I can test it. Had to do some janky jerry rigging on the battery cables. Won't even show that because the safety police will be all over me, but just know it works for the test. Need to correct the battery too, is half the problem. Yep. Okay, take 2. See what happens. I got everything cleaned off so I can let it run. Gotta figure out what's going on with the fuel system. Battery charger. Check that. So I gotta fix the carburetor, or fuel pump. It's probably the fuel pump. And see what happens. It must have a bunch of crap in the fuel pump or something. I was acting like it was up. We know how to run on there, so just need to fix the fuel issues and should be alright. I gotta see if it's the fuel pump or what. It almost has to be the fuel pump. That's what I'm thinking. That's why occasionally it'll rev up and the rest of the time it won't. I'm unhooking the battery just for safekeeping, guys. So, you guys want to see the janky wiring I had going on? All right. So, when you need to extend your cable and your cable end's bad, put on a clamp connector. You hook that up to there. Yeah. If the positive terminal was on that side, I could flip the battery around and it would be in the back and it would reach. That's all I have. That's how the electric start cart. So, anyhow, good enough for a bit of a test run, guys. So, catch you guys on the next one. Later. Off. It's dark outside already. Snowing.